Hi, welcome to Simply Scrapping. Narelle here, and today I'm doing a layout for the sketch hop, and we get a sketch each month, and we can either shrink it to make it smaller or expand it to make it bigger. So this is a sketch we have been given to use, and I'm going to make this into a double page spread. So I'm scrapping today 2 photos, but multiples of them. So this is my daughter at daycare one year, where they take the professional photos every year for the parents to buy, and I think it's so cool that on that day she happened to have pink on, with the gorgeous pink umbrella they had as a prop. And I said that to her last night, and she goes, I probably had pink on every day, because she's at that stage in her life now as a young adult, late teenager, that she won't go anywhere near pink now. It's got to be black or nothing. So, I actually read an interesting article not that long ago that a lot of teenagers, when they get to 14, 15, they start wanting to wear black all the time. And it's because growing up as mothers, we want to put our gorgeous little girls in pink because it's just so cute and they look so gorgeous. And then by the time they get to start deciding what they want to wear themselves, it's like, I'm not going anywhere near pink. I've had a lifetime of pink till now. I'm going for something different. And they go the complete opposite and go dark and go black. So I thought that was a very apt comment last night from her, in that I probably had pink on every day, which is probably true. Anyway, so they are the photos. Now there's only 2 photos, but 4, if that makes sense. So that is one photo where she's got like a tilted head and holding the umbrella, and then this is one where she's holding the umbrella a little bit differently and she's looking straight. So, and these 2 are a copy of that one. So it's probably strange to many people that I'm scrapping basically the same photo and putting 4 of them on a page. But I thought, well, if I've already scrapped this photo, this one is too similar to do another page on, unless I find a paper collection or something which suits it phenomenally, that I want to recreate it or re-scrap it. And I have been known to re-scrap some photos, but I think in this instance I'm not going to do that, and I'm just going to put them all on the one layout and call it done. So I don't know. Some people probably think that's strange putting them all on there, but yeah, I'm doing it anyway, my page, my way. So going to incorporate some fancy paper. And the reason I thought to add these specialty papers is I recently joined the Creative Design Team's closed Facebook group, or their membership group, sorry. They have reopened it for a week for people to join, and I love all the team's videos that they put out on YouTube. So I thought, well, it's relatively cheap, their membership per month, and I thought, well, I'm going to join it and see what I can get from it, because I love what they do on YouTube. So the things they do in their membership group is will never make it onto YouTube, so it's extra content. And I tell you what, I've watched August and July's videos so far, and I am blown away. And that is where I got the idea to use this specialty paper. And because this type of thing we all have, we put it away and we think we're going to use it and we just don't. So I was inspired to use this paper. And yeah, I'll have a link to the membership group below. It is only open though till the end of this week, so you've got to be quick. Do I put them on there, or do I leave them off? Oh, now I've got a dilemma, because then I think if I try to make this a double page without them, there's just not enough on the page. Like, I could put that well and truly on a single page, but I've got to stretch the sketch. Right. Possibly we could do that. I do need to trim that down. I could separate them as well. Let me just trim them to start with. this was cut a little bit crooked. I might keep them together. Okay, so I think that is roughly where everything's going. So to follow the sketch, my cluster is going to be down here and up here and possibly one down here and then maybe top and bottom here. I don't know. We'll work that out as we go. So now I'm going to stencil. I just want it coming out under the clusters, so I don't want a great deal of it. Right. I'm starting up under where the photos will be and coming down so that darkness is up where it's not going to be seen. Okay, so I've backed the photos and I've just cut these strips that I wanted on the side, and sorry, what determined the width of the strips is this pattern up here that was 2.5 inches. So hopefully you can see that on the left hand side, and then this one on the right hand side, because the butterfly is flying in to the page, which also gives me another element I can add to the page, butterflies rather than just all flowers. So I think I like that, and I want to do a really thin strip of the pink foil glimmer paper, whatever it's called. So let's see how this works. Just a really thin strip, so hopefully my cutter is up to, my trimmer is up to cutting this. So I think that is probably, wait, if that's a half, that's a quarter. I don't really want that. I'll just go to the edge of the grey mat. I really don't know what measurement that is, but we'll see. And apparently cutting glimmer paper can really shorten the life of your blades, so just know that. But this is the old Stampin' Up trimmer, and before it was retired I bought a bunch load of the blades and using all them up, so I don't mind if the blade gets a shorter lifespan, because I do have quite a few yet in my stock. Right, so that is the foil paper, and I think that is going to be really pretty. Now you'll notice that the pinks are all a slightly different colour, but that is not going to worry me. But I have a heap of glitter coming off that paper. So I like that. It like draws your eye to the middle because it finishes the edge of the page. So let me stick these down. Okay, so I've stuck them down, and that case of craft paper wasn't quite 12 inches, so I tried to get an even border top and bottom, same on the other page. But that glitter paper, oh my goodness, that glimmer foil, oh, I've got sparkles everywhere. Alright, so now I'm going to work on the mats. Now, if you look at the sketch, which I'll bring back now, alright, we have what looks like photo mats behind the main photo, but like angled and piled up together. So you could cut photo mats bigger than your photo and put them behind and angle them, which I have done with a few. Oh, and now the plastic, hang on. There's a plastic coating on there that wants to lift off. There we go, we'll take that off. So you could use silver if you wanted to, if you didn't want the pinkly, no, is that a word? Pinkly, purpley, I don't know, I'm making words up now. The pink, oh my god, pinkle, no, the pink purple colour, oh my goodness me. Right, you could do something like that. I'm not happy with that placement, but anyway, I don't like the acetate on the foil. I think that gets lost, so possibly the other way around. So we do the foil first. All right, photo straight, angle the photo mats. And I've just cut these at 6.5 by 4.5. But then it's like, well, a lot of that you're not seeing, and our specialty paper is a lot more expensive than our normal paper, so we want to try and conserve it. I mean, we do want to use it, don't get me wrong, but we also want to conserve it and get the most out of it that we can. I'm going to use the little scraps that I've got. So this, for a prime example, I can angle that like that, okay, and then this bit I can put down the bottom, and no one's going to know that it's not a full, well, they will, because I'll see that. But if I cover that with an embellishment, then they're not going to see that that is not a full size photo mat underneath. Does that make sense? So, all right, I'm just going to add more stenciling, and then I'll place the extra mats behind. Okay, so I've put the frames panels on the back of the photos, and I'm not sure I like them, but they're staying. I think they're too dark, but we'll see how it goes once I add the flower clusters. And yeah, I think they're too dark, but anyway, it's hard to see. Yeah, anyway, they're done. I have to stop saying anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to move these aside and stamp all the embellishments. So I also made a couple of tags, because there's tags on either side. So 2 out of the glimmer paper and 2 out of the foil paper. And then my embellishments are simply going to be the pagoda house, the lady, Asian lady, and some of the lanterns from the, what's it called? The Power of Hope stamp set. And then some flowers and leaves from the Pretty Perennials. And I'm not going to stamp and cut out these leaves. I'm going to use this leaf die that is in with the pack. So if that looks too odd, as in too big, then I can cut the leaves off and tuck them under, which I think is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to stamp the lady and the pagoda and the lantern in Memento Black, Tuxedo Black from Memento, and then I will colour these in with Stampin' Blends. And I have no dies for these, so I'm going to have to fussy cut them out. And I'm just using white scraps here to stamp on. And under my white paper I have the glass mat, which is a gorgeous surface to work on. It's just too reflective for filming, so hence the white scratch paper on top. Okay, and then some lanterns. I will just do 3 of those. And my flowers I'm going to do just in different shades of pink. So I actually don't need this anymore because I'm not stamping the leaves. So I'm just going to use Melon Mambo. I've got a mixture of old ink pads and new ink pads, and they open differently, and sometimes it gets me every time. Oh. Alright, so this is just first generation, so not going to do anything special with this. Ink it up and then die cut them out. Now I always do more than I need, and the extras always go in my colour bins, boxes, whatever you call them, so that I can use them on another project. And I'm not worrying that I'm getting extra little marks of ink because there's a die to cut these out, so you're not going to see it. Alright, 6 I think. I don't know, is that enough? Who knows, let's just stamp some more. Why not? And don't stamp too close to the edge because you do need to leave room for your die to go around. Alright, that's enough of that one. Then my next flower up, I'm going to do what they call second generation stamping, which is you ink it up, stamp it off, stamp on your paper. So it's the same ink, it's just a different shade. So it's going to be a pretty monochromatic page actually, because the only thing that's not pink, oh, can I fit these in? Oh, just is going to be the green leaves. So and I've got glitter on absolutely everything. They're not going to fit on there. Okay, and then I'll do some more of them, but you don't want to sit and watch me stamp all them. So this is going to be third generation. So ink it up, stamp it twice, and then stamp it on your project. And it's just a lighter shade again. So hopefully those three together will make for some pretty clusters. Now to work out our clusters. So I know I want the heading up here. So I'm going to put, I think, the pergola over here, just at the very edge of the page. I want my little lady over here, or my lady over here, probably there, maybe there, and then possibly a flower here. Right, and then, oh, I've got some here. It's really hard to work with this coming off the mat, off the glass mat, but we'll see how we go. So I want my title here. I think I'm going to do So Sweet as my title. Right, a couple of these in each cluster. Oh, where'd your little one come from there? Okay, so I'm just going to work out where I want these flowers, and they are getting lost, I think, on that stenciling. It's too much the one colour. So I was afraid that might happen when after I die cut all the flowers, I went, they're very much like that background colour. So I have some white tags left over from a card kit, and I'm thinking that if I can just tuck one under so the flowers are not directly on the pink stenciling, some will be, but I think it just helps lift them off, and you can see a differentiation. If I make sure I leave the flowers off the edge, I think I only have 3 of these, so it doesn't have to be actually right to the corner. It can be down here a little bit, because this section will be covered with flowers. So I really just want that differentiation as I go out further, but I still want to see the stenciling, so I don't want it too far out that you can't see the stenciling. I feel all fingers and thumbs, my goodness. And I don't want to make these clusters too big, actually. I don't know. And I'm thinking I may need a little bit of dimension. So I don't know whether I'm going to layer some on top or whether I cut just plain white ones to put on top. We will think about that. Or do I use, I've got lots of these little ones, do I use the little ones on top instead? Just curl them up. Now I know when they go in their albums they're going to get flattened, but maybe, I don't know, I need to think about that. So let's just finish building a couple of these. Oh, I need a white under here. Okay, some little ones. Yeah, they're all very much the same colour, aren't they? Do I introduce another colour? Possibly. I do have white fabric flowers, actually. Let me go find them. Okay, so I had a friend send me these in an exchange. So I'm thinking possibly instead of that we need we need a bit more. I mean, possibly need another colour, but might look better when I add in the greenery, which I did cut down, because when I looked at them I went, well, there's just too much gap between, there's one I haven't cut. There is too much gap. Let me just get the little doobies out that I haven't got out. It's just too big. I want this one down further. So I have cut them, each one into 3. So I have I can do like that. And then this one, see how that is much better than putting this in? Like, it's just too big. Like, I think that just goes out too far. So I like it like that much better. I've got 2 that I haven't cut. And I may even trim that stem bit off a little bit more, because it may just be a bit too long, and it's, you know, easier to tuck under the less you have to tuck under. Okay, so there is the page finished. I glued all the flowers down, put the leaves in, added the white, they're not a fabric, they're like a paper flower. I love the pergola, and the little Asian lady just adds that little extra touch that goes with the theme of the photos. I added to the center of each of the flowers. So the big ones that have the white flowers on them, I added a large gold rhinestone. The medium flowers, I added a smaller rhinestone. And the small flowers, I used the metallic enamel effects gold in the middle, and then I scattered around the butterflies, gold butterflies, to pick up the butterfly on this paper over here. So, and the heading I did in gold foil, and it just says sweet, because she has such a sweet look on her face in these photos, and I can see glitter, the glimmer from that paper over the photos. I'll have to brush that off before I put it in my album. I'm not sure I want that in the album over the photos. So this is the original sketch that I was going by. It had the photo with the extra mats sticking out from behind, flowers and leaves in clusters, and then tags with the twine. And I just moved this page over to the right and then recreated it on the left. So my flower clusters over here are a little bit different. They're not diagonal. I put them straight top to bottom because it worked better with the photos. I have my layers under my photos, and I have my tags. I encourage you to check out the playlist below that has everyone else who is playing along with the sketch this month. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notify bell so you know when my next video comes out. And have a scrap happy day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.